Conversations on site, SK Vibemaker, Goldie Quaker's in the building, man. If this is the first time you're listening, make sure you jump on your favorite podcast platform, search Onsite Podcast. You can listen back to prior episodes and jump on the YouTube and check out the visuals, man. We out here. We are out here, man.
It's on site. It's on site.
Yeah, done know. Now, you know what, man? People have been waiting. They've been anticipating. They've been patient. Cardi B has come out with new music. It's her first new song. I think it was like, did she say like 7 or 9 months? But nearly a year. Let's say that, like nearly a year since she's released new music. The new single is WAP. W-A-P. Do you know what that stands for? The clean version is Wet and Gushy. What's your feelings, man? When you heard the song, how did you feel, Goldie? How did you feel?
So I feel like one thing I have to give to Cardi B is her visual work, her artwork is always
the aesthetic.
Always 10 out of 10. She never misses with that type of stuff. But what I can say is that the video does more than the actual song does. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I also feel like that could have been Megan's song. I feel like Megan really carried the song more than Cardi B's verse. I feel like, you know, if it was Megan featuring Cardi, it would make more sense per se. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm here for it. At first, I wasn't really a fan, but it's grown on me. I'm not gonna lie, I do actually enjoy the song. But yeah, and I'm here for, you know, the liberation of all types of women and what we all stand for and whatever we're on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm here for it.
WAP, W-A-P, yes. Wet ass. Let's just say Panani or wet ass. I can't say the word, man, but it's like, you know what it stands for, innit? Yeah. We got lyrics like, put this P right in your face, swipe your nose like a credit card. That's what Cardi said. Gobble me, swallow me, drip down the side of me. That's what Megan said. Now, this is where there's a lot of contradictions, because when the overly sexual lyrics come from females, it seems like we have more of a problem than when it comes from the guys. Let's not get it twisted, man. Your favorite male rapper be dropping a lot of lyrics about Top, Becky, you know what I'm talking about, fellatio. I'm trying to use like cleaner terms, but we're talking about oral. We're talking about sexual positions and how they're holding up a woman. But it seems like when a woman does it, there's a major problem. So the talking point has been over the last few days since the video and the song has dropped, which dropped on the same day, about the overly sexual nature of the song. This is a very sexual song. You got the two biggest sexual rappers of a generation, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. What did you expect them to be rapping about? Playing chess? Going to a book club? Cleaning cars? Like, I feel like you're getting what you would expect from them. But when you have female rappers who aren't of the sexual nature, they don't get as much attention. Like, we're talking about rappers like No Name, Rhapsody, Tierra Whack. You know, new female rappers like that. They're not as sexual, far from sexual, but they don't get as much attention. So maybe this is a justification why these female rappers be doing it.
I don't agree with that.
Whether it is or not, but the female rappers who are of the lesser sexual persuasion, people don't care about that. People don't support them as much. So let me look at this tweet. Lady Sanity, she said, some of y'all will complain about women in rap that have sexually explicit lyrics and images, but still won't support the women that don't. What's your take on that, Goldie?
I feel like it's kind of unfair to use artists who, like, you know, Tierra Whack and stuff like that, who are not on Cardi B and Megan's kind of, you know, level, in a sense of, like, you know, their careers, like, they're getting there, but they're not at that high point. They're not at the peak point of
their status.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's unfair to kind of compare that. But at the same time, I do feel like, you know, in society, when it comes to men and women, there's always double standards. You know, a man can do something that a woman can't do. But I do feel as well that there are artists who don't. But think about it, this has been a trend. We've had people like Foxy, we've had people like Little Kim who have been saying and been doing stuff like this. So I don't understand why. I mean, now we refer to them as legends, as classics. Do you know what I mean? So I don't understand why now, in a day and age where, you know, sexual liberation and, you know, equality and, you know, women can do what a man does is even more prominent. Why is it such a big deal that, you know, a woman is talking about sex?
It was a talking point then, and it's a talking point now. And maybe a bigger talking point now, because we are seeing videos everywhere and it's instant. So the talking point is like a volcano, whereas the talking point back then might be less of a volcano because the information and the news took more time to spread because of the outlets. Whereas when this song WAP dropped on the day, it got the immediate traction. Like, how many views did the video get in the first 24 hours? It was definitely close to 10 million. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. At the same time, I feel that a lot of the backlash is from people who are like, oh my God, you're being a bad role model. What are you teaching young women? But I have to also understand that just because someone's a celebrity does not mean that they've signed up to be a role model. Do you know what I mean? It's we placed that pressure on them. We'll be like, okay, cool, I want to be like this person, or I want to do this and I want to do that. And that is none of their business. Do you know what I mean? And at the same time, I do feel that Cardi and Megan's demographic is of people who are of age to be able to kind of understand what they are talking about, or I don't know, relate, or, you know, whatever.
Are you sure? Are you sure though? Are you sure?
I do know. I do feel like their ideal demographic is people who can, you know, actually understand what they are trying to say or what they're trying to do and put across.
Let me put this to you then, Goldie. Who is the demographic that this song WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion? Who are the demographic? Who should be the audience that should be digesting this then? In your opinion,
I think they would obviously want like young women and men who are of, you know, of age of consent.
Give us an age approximation.
Globally.
Give us an age approximation.
I would probably say, you know, 20 or 19 and above.
And I'm going to tell you this for sure, and I'm sure you know this, that probably a huge fraction of that, let's just call it 7 million views that the video got in the first 24 hours. A huge fraction of that was probably less than 19-year-olds.
Whose fault is that?
Regardless of whose fault it is, I'm saying that obviously the generation that we're in now, the younger audience have means to get to it.
100%.
And I'm not saying that's the reason why Cardi and Megan shouldn't make songs like this.
Cardi even said on YouTube, it's not even the most explicit version because YouTube were not having it. She's released the explicit version. I don't know where she's released it, but apparently it's out now. But
well, she's got her OnlyFans account now, which was obviously very renowned OnlyFans platform for what do you call it? Strippers and people. But to be honest,
OnlyFans it's not originally meant for that. You could sell anything on OnlyFans.
Yes, but it's become popular because of the adult movie industry. Yes. Do you know what I'm saying? People they pay for a subscription. Cardi shows for the $4.99 option for her fans because she wanted it to be lower for people to afford. So probably that's where she's put the explicit video. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I hear that. But at the same time, I'm here for, you know, the liberation of women. And if, you know, women want to talk about whatever they want to talk about, we can, because just as men can do it, you know.
There's vulgar raps on both sides, man. There's sexual and vulgar raps from female rappers and from male rappers as well. From male rappers and from female rappers. But when you heard WAP, were there any lyrics that you was like, oh my God? Yeah?
I mean, Cardi's verse is a bit mad, you know. Even some of the stuff that Megan's stuff says is a bit crazy. You listen to it, you're like, oh my goodness, okay, this is what we're doing. But yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. It did take me back a bit. You know, I was like, "Rod, this is crazy." And even today on radio, I did play the clean version, and because in the background it does say there's some whores in this house. I got a message from my producer saying, "Hello, is this a clean version?" And I was like, "This is the cleanest you're gonna get." Okay,
that's what was in the email that was sent out from the plugger. This is the cleanest you're gonna get. There's some holes in this house. There's some holes, but they could do a version with that not in there. Do you know what I'm saying?
But they do like a little in the background. There's a little bit of
it's edited out, you know? But you know where it is. You know what I'm saying? The suggestion is there. But this is a further talking point as well. Is if we are desensitized to this kind of content now, are we? Are we desensitized? Where you said you were still shocked?
100% we are desensitized to it, because I think about it, if my parents, when my parents were like my age, if this came out, I feel like during that time, sex is such a taboo. Like there was a period where, you know, sex and certain things you just don't speak about it. It's whatever happens between you and your partner in the bedroom, that's what happens, sort of thing. But then you would have people like Marvin Gaye and singing songs, but it wasn't, you know, explicit, you know.
But it was very suggestive.
Very, 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 very. But I do think that, you know, it's I don't know why it's always shoved in our faces when we think about, even when we watch things on Netflix, there are sex scenes now in movies, and even recently CBBC or was it, I don't know, CBeebies or one of their shows are now implementing, you know, kisses being showed on the shows and stuff like that, and parents are having a bit of a, you know, And at the same time, it's like I get it, but at the same time, I wouldn't want my daughter to be seeing people kissing because she shouldn't be kissing no one. She, you know what I mean? She shouldn't be knowing what that is at that age. But I do feel like I can say that everyone now is desensitized to it because it's everywhere you look. You know what I mean? Everywhere. Music, films, programs, adverts. You know, you have Durex adverts on TV. You know, it is what it is. As much as it's like very, you know, it's very covert. At the same time, you know what it is. You know. So.
Shout out to Trillery Banks, because we definitely spoke about a similar thing about females and their sexual raps quite in a recent episode of the podcast as well. But focusing right now as we are on, you know, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion and their single WAP that they recently released, and it being of the sexual persuasion and everybody debating about it. Does there need to be more of a conscious celebration of the other side of female rap, like the more conscious side and the lesser sexual side? Is that something that we need to consciously do? Why is it not happening more? Why are more conscious female rappers not getting the same platform, the same promo, the same status?
I don't know, you know, I can't give you, but I feel like in the UK specifically, we don't really have a lot of over-sexualized female artists. Do you know what I mean?
Are you sure?
We have a few, but then I feel like the majority are, when you sit down, the majority that are coming up recently, I believe personally, are coming a bit more, you know, when you listen to their bars, you're like, okay, what? Okay, this is what you're on. This is what you're saying. You know, it's making sense. It's not just, you know, talking about sex or talking about their body or, you know. And at the same time, I do think that when with artists who are more conscious, it's a lot, you have to depend a lot more on the artist's branding. So that goes down to the person's management and how they're marketed and how they're branded. I feel like that's another thing that you have to spend even more time on, because people are not going to be just looking at the person and being like, oh, where has somebody like Cardi, she's got, you know, her breast out, she's, you know, got her bum out. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, what, her body's crazy. Whereas these more conscious rappers are going to have to put more time and effort into actually branding and marketing themselves in a way to garner people's interest, not only for the music, but wanting to know what they're doing, wanting to keep up with them. Do you know what I mean? Because let's be honest now, like with music, as much as there's artists out there that are not even that great at music. For example, I love Sweetie, do you know what I mean? Very pretty, but she's pretty, do you know what I mean? But let's look at the quality of the music that she puts out, you know? But because people have an interest in her, she has a following.
Won't have you talk bad of Sweetie, man. She's very cool. I like Sweetie, man.
I love her, but I just feel like, you know, if we're talking about like lyrically, SK, lyrically,
she's got her lane. She's swaggy. But she's not the sharpest lyrically, but she can make songs. I like Sweetie. I won't have you talk down on Sweetie.
I'm not talking down on her, but I love that PC answer right there. But,
I like Sweetie. We had a great interview, and she's very cool as well. So
she seems really nice. I don't have nothing against her, but do you know what I mean? I had to give an example of an artist who I didn't think that was like lyrically, you know, 10 out of 10.
But we can't see. We're talking about different things here. So just because you ain't lyrically sharp, you ain't the best lyrically, should that take away a lot from you as an artist? Because everyone's top MO or top trump card or top skill is not lyrics. Sometimes people can compose great songs, put together great songs that make sick choruses, sing-alongs and all that. So there's a balance of things. Sometimes your most lyrical artists can't make the greatest songs.
I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to music, like, you know, at the forefront, like we have to get down to the foundations and the core of it. Forget branding, forget social media, forget how you look. It's the music that counts at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? That should be counting. And I feel like when it comes to artists who may not have that look or may not have, you know, the over-sexualized music, it takes a little bit more for you to be noticed. And I understand that, I hear that. But at the same time, right now, for example, in America, if you make a song, if you're a rapper, you make a song, yeah, and it doesn't go off in a strip club, do you know what I mean? You want your song, sometimes people measure the greatness of the song with how people react to it in a strip club. So, and that just goes, that says that in itself.
That's a big part of the marketing.
You know what I mean? They're not trying to go to a restaurant and be like, oh, let's see what the people are going to come and be like, what song is this? Nah. So I don't know. It's a tricky one.
You know, since the release of this WAP track, whatever you want to call it, Wet and Gushy, the Cardi B and the Megan Thee Stallion song, it made me think of maybe the hopes of there being a mega mix or a proper official remix, and them getting all of the girls on there. Maybe them drafting in Nicki Minaj, Saweetie, City Girls, Miss Banks being on there, Georgia Smith. It would be the baddest remix ever. I'm saying it would cause an absolute shutdown in regards to just the billing and them all being in a video. Could you imagine the shutdown or the moment before you even heard the song? Could you imagine all of them not being on the same song?
I would be very mad, but the song would be like 8 minutes long.
Doja Cat throw her in there as well. Nah, you never know, man. They might have they could have 8-bar verses. There might not have to be a chorus after everyone's verse. They done a similar thing with Touch It, Busta Rhymes back in the day, and they done all these different remixes, and they done like 3 of them on each remix, and then there was one mix with like loads of them on. I think all the thing that it would, like the unity involved, I think would be great. I know you frowned when I mentioned Nicki Minaj, but Cardi recently come out and had some glowing comments for Nicki Minaj indirectly. Yeah, she did. She talked about one female rapper dominating. She didn't name her by name, but she spoke about a female rapper dominating, like the female rap game not being too good, and then one female coming along and dominating and still dominating. And that was recently, since the release of WAP. So she had glowing words for Nicki Minaj. She just didn't say her by name.
If that's what she's here for, I'm here for that too. Do you know what I mean? Here for that too.
Straight up. I think it would be great, man. I just think it would be just great. I think it would be a moment, but that's just me maybe just letting my imagination run away with me.
Yeah.
You get me?